Hello, this is Brenda Underwood coming to you live today to talk to you about building confidence. Over the past couple of days, we have talked on Tuesday, we talked about defining the future you. On Wednesday, we talked about um, crafting the future you with intentionality. And today, I wanted to talk to you about the thing that bothers us the most when we begin to embark in something new: confidence. We will often struggle with a lack of confidence when we are trying to do a new thing in our lives. And so I thought that I'd come to you live tonight and I'd share with you some tips and tools on how you can build confidence and win at life. And so we are going to make sure that everyone can hear me, that everything is working. And while I make sure that, I am going to tell you who I am. I am Brenda Underwood. I am a business life coach that helps people craft workplace exit strategies to help them make their jobs optional and break through barriers so they can win at life. I help people become courageous entrepreneurs and women of action. So let's get started. If you are joining, please say hi, show me some love. If you are joining the replay, please type in replay. If you are a woman in the Procrastination Crusher Challenge, please hashtag women of action. Hashtag women of action, because that's what we want to be. When we're women of action, we can accomplish things that we can never accomplish sitting on the couch contemplating about what we want to be. We want to put it into action and bring it to life. So I'm coming to you today to talk about how to build strength how to build confidence by building your strength. And so I am going to show you how you can do this with a very tangible tool. And this is a tool that I actually use with my clients from time to time. Because I'm a custom coach, every client doesn't get every tool because every client doesn't need every tool. Some of my clients come and they're fully confident in what they want to accomplish. They don't struggle with fear. Some of my clients come to me and they need to build their confidence in order to accomplish their goals. And so when we look at building confidence, I'm going to teach you a tool called Strength Pods. And what Strength Pods do is they help you to begin to refocus so that your inner dialogue is going to be more complementary to accomplishing goals and getting things done versus beating yourself up, being your own critic, struggling with past failures, discouragements, and disappointments. So when we look at building our confidence through these strength pods, it's a very deliberate but very simple task to do. And so we will often see a lack of confidence will show up in the room, which I call fear. Some call it insecurity. When you try something brand new, if you're doing something you've never done before, let's say you're going skydiving and you've never done it before. Anybody going to be scared? I'm sorry. I'm going to be a little, my stomach is going to be churning a little bit. If I go skydiving because I've never done it before. But once you faced off with that fear and you do it, then you have a confidence that comes from, oh, I've done this. This is easy. I've done it 100 times. And then it becomes very comfortable for you. Sometimes we've got to be uncomfortable long enough to get comfortable doing that new thing. So oftentimes a lack of confidence will show up in the room when you try something new. It will also show up in the room when you try something that you failed at before. Let's say you started a business years ago and it failed, horrible failure. You had to file bankruptcy, all kinds of difficulties came into your life and you decided, I'm never going to try to run a business again. Look, beloved, if you are a believer, the righteous fall 7 times and get back up the 8th time. Try again, learn from your failures. Like John Maxwell says, fail forward. Another time when fear or a lack of confidence will show up is when you try something that exposes your weaknesses. Let's say, for instance, you're not a very good speaker. Let's say you stutter. Let's say you struggle with putting your thoughts together on the spot. When you are exposing your weakness, a lack of confidence will show up, because we want to be perfect in all we do, but being perfect is overrated. Sometimes we got to be comfortable being perfectly imperfect. So if you are one who struggles with speaking in front of groups, join a Toastmasters. You can go visit a Toastmasters as long as you want to for free. I'm a member of Toastmasters Swanee, and we get together virtually online via Zoom. You don't even have to leave your house. You just need some good lighting, some sound, and a camera on your computer, and you can begin to practice this weakness called public speaking, so that you can be more involved with meetings on your job. You can show yourself as a good communicator on your job and maybe get yourself a promotion. Maybe you want to launch a business and you're going to have to do some Facebook Lives or some public speaking in order to do that. And you can practice your weakness at a Toastmaster. But whenever you are trying something that is going to expose a weakness of yours, you're going to have some lack of confidence show up in the room. Another area where lack of confidence will show up is when you don't feel confident about the topic or project. This is one of the things that I tell people all the time. Look, in an information age, who knows anything about everything? None of us. So if you really want to get confident on the God that is on the inside of you, that is all-knowing. Be confident in what he brings to the table in you. Be confident in his all-knowing capabilities and power. Be confident in what he has gifted you to do, because if he's called you to it, he will empower you and equip you to do it. Being competent on a topic, no one's competent on everything. Sometimes you just got to go in both feet, trusting Jesus. The next thing is when you have a lot of eyes on you. Let's say you've gotten really comfortable talking with your small group. 5 or 6 people of women that you know very well. Then they ask you, can you come speak to the singles conference? Well, how many people are going to be at the singles conference? Oh, a couple of thousand people. Now, all of a sudden, you're going from speaking to 12 people very comfortably to speaking to 2,000 people uncomfortably. And you kind of get nervous about that. And then you find out it's on Zoom. And all of a sudden, all of your insecurities come rushing into the room all at one time. But I have something for you, beloved. You do not have to live in a space of insecurity and lack of confidence. This very simple tool will help you begin to move from lack of confidence to confident, from fear to courage. And it is beginning to focus on your strengths. Build your confidence by recognizing your strengths. And so this is something that is copywritten by Breakthrough for Life. That's called the Strength Pod. And so what happens with the Strength Pod, this is a pod, and it has a series of questions that you ask, because coaching isn't about telling you what to do. And coaching is not mentoring. Coaching is helping you unearth what's already on the inside of you. And so when you build confidence by recognizing your strengths, by using this tool called the Strength Pod, you will see your confidence grow in areas. And so what I will ask, what I will ask my clients to do is I will ask them to think of a big accomplishment. So I'm going to ask you now. I need a little water. I'm going to ask you now to think of a big accomplishment that you've accomplished over your lifetime. Maybe it was buying a house. Maybe it was getting married. Maybe it was finishing your degree. Maybe it was not losing your job by going off on your boss. That was a big accomplishment for me. What was a big accomplishment in your life? So ask yourself, what's a big accomplishment? We're going to use something that I used earlier. And let's say a big accomplishment was launching your business, or let's say writing your first book. That was a big accomplishment, getting your first book published by a traditional publisher. Then if that's your big accomplishment, was getting your book published, then what strength did you have to exert to accomplish it? Thank you, Caprice. What strength did you have to exert in order to accomplish your big accomplishment? A strength that you already had. Then second, what is a secondary strength that you had to exert in order to bring it into play? See, when you begin to look at what you already had on the inside of you to accomplish a big goal, then you realize that a lot of what you need is already embedded in you. But whenever we go through something unfamiliar and new, these two things are going to give birth to a strength that you developed. So what strength was developed during the process of getting your book, or during the process of getting married, during the process of buying your house, during the process of landing that vice president job that you've been having your eye on? What strength did you have to develop? It's a strength that you didn't have already. And then what was the reward for going through this process of exerting the strengths that you already possessed and producing a new strength? What was the reward of the accomplishment? When I was putting this together, I thought about, well, maybe some people struggle with what's the difference between a strength and a skill. So I want to explain that to you very simplistically. Strengths are a part of who you are. It comes naturally. It just is. It just oozes off of you. Like some people who are very gifted writers, it just comes out and it's great. Okay. And that's a strength for them. A strength is something you can do consistently with joy. So if it's something you can do, but you don't like to do, then it's not a strength. It's not a strength, beloved. A strength is something you can do consistently with joy. Now, a skill is something you learn over time. So like I have become skilled at doing Facebook Lives. I've learned how to do it. I've had to study it. It didn't come naturally for me. Getting in front of the screen, my past job, my past boss gave me a lot of opportunities to be in front of a camera, which prepared me for this, but I had to learn. The videographer on my last job was phenomenal. I love him to death. And he taught me different things to do when I was on camera. My next door neighbor used to be a photographer. He taught me how to take pictures and make my eyes look bright and all of those things. That's a skill that was learned. Skills are an expression of your strengths. So you can take a strength, add a skill to it, and make that strength even stronger. Okay. Skills are what you do. Strengths are who you are. Okay. That's the big difference between the two. Let me give you one that made me prompt this question to myself and then decide to break it down for you guys. Is I feel like I'm a gifted communicator. Running my mouth comes natural. Can you tell? I can just run my mouth with no problem. It's just natural for me. But some people, it doesn't come natural for, and they learn the skill of communication. My sister is a gifted communicator. She went to school. She has a master's degree in communication, although she's a full-time comedian. Phenomenal comedian, phenomenal communicator. She added skills to her strength of communicating. And so sometimes you can have a strength that is a skill as well. Okay. So don't get confused as we go and break this down a little bit further. If I'm helping anybody, just type in, "You're helping me, girl." And the next step is for me to break down for you what a strength pod looks like. So build confidence by recognizing your strengths. You take this tool called the strength pod and you answer the question. My big accomplishment was launching my business 7 years ago. And the second big accomplishment with that was leaving my corporate job 4 years ago. So I've been in business 7, but I did it part-time for 3, and I've done it full-time for 4. Okay. And so that was a big, huge accomplishment. I never wanted to be an entrepreneur. My mother was an entrepreneur. And I said, as a little girl, I made a vow that I remember her coming home one day and saying she was pooped and she had worked all day and she was sitting in her chair. And I said, why are you so tired? She said, baby, you don't ever own a business. A business owns you. And that instilled in my mind a barrier that I had to get uprooted in order to actually launch my business. And my previous boss was the biggest helper in me launching my business. He believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. He sat at his kitchen table one day and said, Brenda, as much money as you're making Rico and Toshiba and Unisource and all these other companies, why don't you go into business for yourself? And I remember this little girl making a vow. Some of the vows we made as little girls, we're going to have to denounce in order to walk into our future. Do you hear me? Some of the vows you made as a little girl, you're going to have to denounce in order to walk into your future. And in that moment, something clicked in me that said, maybe you could be an entrepreneur, but it took years for me to get to the place to actually launch my business. So that was a big accomplishment for me. So when I look at that big accomplishment, what was a strength? What strength did I have to exert to accomplish it? Organizational vision. That comes naturally for me. Someone gives me an idea and I can lay out a blueprint and a strategy to make it happen. I've done it multiple times. That's how I made my living in corporate. I would work for CEOs and I would build departments or additional businesses for them from scratch. And so that's just something that comes natural for me. I don't even see it as a gift because I'm with it all the time. It just lays out in my mind. It's a strength. An organizational vision is a strength. My second strength that I had to exert in order to launch my business was pure tenacity. I was tenacious about it. Let me tell you, once I locked and loaded that I was going to launch my business, hell and high water wasn't going to stop me. I got gritty with it. Anything I didn't know how to do, I got help with. Anything I couldn't figure out, I Googled. Anyone that I knew who had their business, I was like, can I talk to you? Can we get together for lunch? I'll buy you lunch. I need you to tell me the tips of the trade. And through those two things, those two strengths, organizational vision and tenacity, I launched my business. But in the process of launching my business, I had to be patient. And that was the strength that was developed. And anybody who's known me for a long time know I am not a patient woman. Oops. Sorry about that. I am not a patient woman. I am a woman who wants it now. Anybody want it now? If you're watching on the replay, put, I want it now. I had to learn patience in order to actually accomplish my goal. And I still have to exercise patience now because as I'm working with clients, sometimes they don't always finish their action steps. And so they're looking for me to hammer down. Well, that's not healthy accountability. What I help them do is really understand, why didn't you take the action? What caused you not to move forward? And give them grace in the moment that they expect hard accountability. It's healthy accountability. Now, I hadn't always been that coach. Remember, in launching my business, I had to learn how to be patient. That became a strength. And the reward was not launching the business. That was the goal. I launched the business. The reward was I now have an autonomy of time and autonomy of resources. That's the reward. And so when you go through, type in or put in what is your big accomplishment and answer these questions so that you can begin to build confidence that what's in you is going to birth your goals. So, if I teach you something, I'm going to want you to put it into play. So action equals results. Focus more on your strengths and less on your weaknesses. Look, y'all, Everybody's got strengths and everybody's got weaknesses. What you focus on is going to grow. So focus on your strengths, because if you focus on your weaknesses, they will grow too. And as you know, this is going to be on every single one. Applied knowledge is power. If there is something in this Facebook Live that really spoke to you, then go through this 3-step process to begin to build confidence by focusing on your strengths. Write down 3 big life accomplishments. Do a strength pod for each accomplishment. Reevaluate your level of confidence. If you do 3 strength pods, I promise you, by the time you get to that 3rd strength pod, your confidence is going to start to increase and go up, because now you're going to begin to believe in you, believe that you are capable, believe that you can make it happen. And with that being said, that's my tip and tool for you today, is to help you build your confidence by focusing on your strengths. So, who am I? I am Brenda Underwood. I am a dual certified business life coach. I help female leaders create workplace exit strategies to make their jobs optional. As a result of working with Breakthrough for Life, you will move from procrastinator to producer. And we like to call it at Breakthrough for Life, Women of Action. You will move from employee to courageous entrepreneur if you have an entrepreneurial spirit that wants to launch a business that is purpose-driven. And you will, by working with Breakthrough for Life, craft a life you can fall in love with over and over again. If you'd like to know more about going on a custom coaching journey with Brenda Underwood at Breakthrough for Life, let's chat. I offer a free discovery call that is 45 minutes. You can DM me on Facebook Messenger. You can call me at 855-923-LIFE. You can schedule your free discovery call directly at breakthroughforlife.com. Go to the contact button, and my schedule is right there on the open for you to pick a time that's good for you. And the above link will be in the below comments. And so I hope that you have enjoyed this today. I hope that you will take some time in the next 24 hours, no more than 48 hours, and break down your strengths. Because, beloved, we all have been gifted with something miraculous by the Father to give to the earth, to give to this earth realm, to share with other people. Don't let your gift and your capabilities, strengths, and skills be put up under a bushel for no one to see. Shine your light bright as you walk in the strengths and the gifts that God has given you to express in the earth. You are praising Him. You are giving Him glory. God gets glory for every accomplishment that I've accomplished in my life. And so I hope that you will do the same thing. And maybe your glory is going to be expressed in an occupational job. One of my clients is a young college student, or was a young college student. And he wanted to be a surgeon. And so he wanted to work at Grady Hospital. He wants to be a trauma surgeon, and he wants to help save lives. And that's his goal, his dream, his gifting, and it is on a job. So I'm not just saying everybody needs to exit corporate and go work for themselves. Sometimes your gifts and your calling is there to support an organization. I'm just asking you, beloved, to tap into that inner champion on the inside of you. Let her free so that you can live free. Let me tell you, some of the best blessings are in obscure places. I hope this has been helpful. I hope that you'll reach out to me and we can chat.